Hi there, everyone. It is currently the 7th of May, 2015. Meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you today, making this update right around 4:30 a.m. Japan Standard Time, about 3:30 a.m. Philippine Standard Time. The reason for this is because I actually am going to be heading off towards NHK. I'll be on air there. You can watch online at their website. But the other big thing is that there has been some significant changes, so I did want to get some video update in here this morning before I headed off to work instead of waiting towards the afternoon, the evening hours. And the big changes is the fact that we do have a typhoon now, Typhoon Noul, according to the Japan Meteorological Agency at least. Also, the track has changed a little bit, and we have another tropical depression back here towards the east. First, let's talk about our new typhoon. Winds about 65 knots, 120 kilometers per hour at this time. Where is it currently located? Well, just north of Palau towards the west of Yap. Good news, not really impacting any islands directly at this time. What we can see on the satellite imagery is that the organization is much better than what we were seeing yesterday. It's still combating that drier inflow that we were talking about from the north here, but down towards the south, the moist air inflow, that moisture coming in out of the intertropical convergence zone, is just in abundance, and that's really fueling up this storm system. Furthermore, the sea surface temperatures under it definitely rather warm. Actually, we're seeing around 30 to 31 to 32 degrees Celsius. That's just bath water, and that's going to continue to fuel into the storm system, allow it to intensify. And that's actually why, at least at this time, the meteorological agency expects us to continue to intensify, pressure dropping all the way down actually to right around 930, and I seen yesterday around 925 to 920 HPA. That would put it near the violent intensity according to the Japan Meteorological Agency. Even the Joint Typhoon Warning Center at this time expecting this to make a run towards the super typhoon category. So yeah, this is definitely not going to be a weak storm system as it starts to near the coastline of the Philippines. Now, good news, if you notice here by 10:12Z, it does weaken off a little bit just prior to landfall in northeastern Luzon according to JTWC. Now, here's the big question though. Is it going to move off here towards the north, towards northern Luzon? Because this is one of the big things in the forecast I mentioned that has changed, is basically that the subtropical ridge that we've been talking about just off here towards the north, that looks like it's holding in place, actually rather strong here. That's this right in here. Now remember, these storm systems, they're kind of like water. They want to flow downhill. They don't flow over mountains. Think of high pressure ridges as mountains. Look at this as a topography map. So you have your low pressure down here, your high pressure here. This low is not going to want to run over that high. Now, what we've been expecting is this part of the high to retreat back towards the west, that to retreat towards the east, and that would allow our storm system to move off there towards the north. Unlikely that this is going to miss the Philippines at all. Very unlikely at this time. It looks like this is going to stay in place. Now, the big question is how much, because at least at this point, it does look like actually some of the models are taking it more or less in this direction like that and then moving off towards north, or just skimming the coastline. We did notice that most of the agencies have shifted back towards the west with some of the numerical guidance. For example, this is actually showing early Sunday morning according to the latest GFS run. That's the numerical model from the Americans out here, and the National Weather Service in the US basically runs that model, and it just takes it more along that due west due to the interaction with the ridge farther off there towards the north. Now, if we rewind it back to the 06 UTC run, which was the last one here, it even pushes a little bit farther towards the north. So we've been seeing this basically trending farther and farther south. Now, I do want to compare it up with the same exact time frame early Sunday morning with the ECMWF, also pulls it a little bit farther there towards the north. So numerical guidance basically in line with a landfall somewhere in Luzon. That's the big question. Where exactly is it going to be? And that's why you need to stay with us here at westernpacificweather.com. We're definitely going to keep you posted on how this storm system develops. And here's another look at that NavGem run, actually. It even pulls it off there towards the west. Let's take a look at the GFS one more time. Using this FinMOC platform, it pulls it right off there and moves it over top of the Philippines. Also, the big thing is that as far as the recurve, how is this going to impact Taiwan, or maybe even the southern Japanese islands. Big thing is that if this does make landfall and pushes over Luzon, it likely will weaken the storm system enough that it's not going to have a big impact here towards the north. But that all is dependent on how much of an interaction it does have with land masses here, and basically if it can re-intensify once it moves back off there towards the north. The big thing, though, is that this still is May. Even though we have so many storm systems in the forecast, it's still May, guys, and it is still not quite conducive for tropical systems into Japan and China and farther here towards the north than the Philippines. But I mean, things are just lining up for activity here. This basically as we go through the rest of May. I mean, take a look at this. This is Dolphin, the other storm system that I mentioned. I mentioned it is a tropical depression at this time. You're looking at Tuesday here, just moving over top of Guam according to this numerical guidance, and then eventually, let's scroll ahead. Now, this is long range. There is some significant air that could potentially unfold here, but there also is some significant impacts potentially for those of you into the southern Japanese islands as this storm system kind of runs by and clips you potentially has a fairly strong typhoon. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on out here today, guys, and we're going to continue to keep you posted. Thanks for watching here at westernpacificweather.com with our Typhoon Noul, our tropical depression, soon to be Dolphin, everything else going on here. If you check out any of the tools I used in the update today, please do go to westernpacificweather.com. You can go check that out. Also, this application, Meteor app, something I highly recommend. It's actually quite useful. You can look at the winds, precipitation, even the latest track according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, and you put that on your phone if you do want to go check that out. All right, guys, that is all for now. Thanks again for watching here at Westpac Weather, and as always, stay safe out there.